Hey loves, how's it going? It's Anne. Thank you so much for spending the day with me and staying towards the end of this video. I really appreciate you. There's been so much going on in my life, especially for this transition, this new transition that I am making. If you have been, watching my videos, you know that I've been talking about minimalism for a while, simplifying and slow living. So far I'm definitely implementing that into my new way of life. And I have transitioned out of California to a more slower pace, smaller town. I am now in Utah. Definitely different, in a smaller town. It's not a big city, but it's not a tiny remote town either. And so it's just right in between, and it's a great way for me to transition into this life of having less and living more. So I'm definitely becoming more mindful with my actions, what I invite into my life, what I say yes to, what I say no to, and what is serving me and what is no longer serving me. So living out here definitely has its highs and lows. It's definitely not like, oh, I'm out here changing my life, I'm so much more happier now. I have ups and downs, when you are by yourself, you will definitely face these emotions that have been hidden away for a while, that has been repressed, and they surface. They surface especially when you're by yourself a lot. And that's why sometimes we come across very, very low moments, especially when we're by ourselves. And a lot of people don't like that, so they're often distracting themselves with people or things to do. And that's why it's not easy to live by yourself. I've been getting messages and emails about, how do I deal with being alone or the low moments when I'm alone? I'll get more in depth into another video, but I definitely have been sitting with it and coming to understand that part of who I am and allowing it to flow through me instead of becoming me. A lot of things have been healed. A lot of things are in the works. Something that I was able to kind of recognize was my relationship with my mother. And I was able to bring forgiveness into that part of my life that I have been very resentful towards. Living out here, being by myself, feels super vulnerable because I'm far away from my friends. I'm far away from my family. I don't know anybody. And the reason why I'm doing this isn't to run away from anything, isn't to look for something. I just felt a calling to do this, and everything was synchronizing, falling into place for me. This place just so happened to be available for me. It was exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a quiet place to focus into my creative projects. I wanted a place that I can turn into a studio. I wanted a place that was small and not too big, place that has a loft. And this place presented itself to me at the time where I felt like I needed somewhere to call home because I was on the road so much. It's just amazing how things synchronize in a way when you are able to let go of forcing an outcome, when you're able to let go of resisting change. And so it's a beautiful story how everything is turning out. There are nights when I would just cry and let it all out. There are times where I feel like I'm so alone in this transition in my life, like nobody can understand me. No matter who I tell, like nobody understands why I'm out here, why I'm doing this. Every time I tell somebody, they're just like, why the heck are you in Utah? Like, what the heck are you doing? They either think that I'm in a depressed state or something like that, or something's wrong with me, because these are people that I know when I was living out in LA, and they knew me for this city girl who had this sport car and who go out to brunches and dress up all the time. That was a very fun part in my life. I learned a lot being that person, and that is still part of who I am, but there's more to me that I want to learn. There are more in life that really brings out who I am, that really makes me excited and makes me feel alive. I feel like if I was to do the same thing for like 5 years, 10 years, I wouldn't feel so excited about life. I want to feel excited about life by doing things that teach me, by doing things that spark my curiosity. It doesn't have to be great, amazing, big projects or adventures. It could be the smaller things like gardening, for instance. I've been just enjoying this process of gardening. I've always been very curious about it, but when I was living out in the city, I've been very distracted with other things. And so now that I'm out here, I was just given this opportunity to garden. It's just so happened that my landlord is passionate about gardening, and he built these gardening boxes here. Nobody that lives around here, all the tenants around here, have no interest in gardening. And so it was an opportunity for me to really have fun with this. And at first, when I got here, you know, I saw that and I saw this opportunity. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I can't believe this is happening. But then my old way of thinking got in the way, and it was just like, oh, I need to research this. I need to make it perfect. I need to get this. I need to get that. I need to prep myself. And, you know, weeks after weeks, I just kind of let the garden be. And if I kept that mindset, that mentality, I think that I would just not do anything about it and not take advantage of this opportunity that is basically handed to me. So because of my landlord, he was just like, here are some seeds, here are some gardening tools, here are some gardening hose, like just throw the seeds out there and just see where it goes, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And so that was what I did. We just like threw out seeds and see what happened. And the garden started to thrive. From there, I started to propagate my favorite herbs, Vietnamese herbs that I can't get in this small town. And so I would go in the big city, buy those herbs, and then bring them back, propagate them. And now they're just green, luscious, leafy herbs in my gardening box. I was also able to save some seeds from this organic Japanese kombucha squash that I absolutely love. It's so delicious. And when I was cooking it, there were so many seeds that were left. So I saved those and I put them into the garden, and now they're just thriving. They're like big leafy greens. And I think it's going to be a couple more weeks before I start to see, you know, the squash coming and growing from that. So that's very exciting to see the honeybees flying around. That makes my heart so happy. And whether if people understand me or not, I'm at the point where I don't care anymore. At first I was really sad about it because my friends would make fun of me for kind of like letting my gray hair grow out, and kind of like, you know, they're like, oh, you became a hippie now. I mean, they didn't mean any harm, but it was hurtful because you feel like nobody understands where you are. But I came to the point where I don't need these people to understand me. I still love them. I still accept them for who they are. And I understand that they have no bad intentions for me. But I'm also at a point where I'm fine if you don't understand where I am in my life, because I'm happy. Like this garden that I worked on is making me so happy. I can go out there during dinner time, pick whatever I want and bring it back into my kitchen and, you know, enjoy it. What even makes me more happy is that I can share this abundance of green that I was able to work on with my neighbors and with my friends. Like, I've been working on little projects around the house. This plant, for instance, is one of my older plants. My son has been plant sitting for me. He's gonna be here in the fall time with me, so I'm excited about that. But he sit this plant for me, and it was just kind of like going out of control. So what I did was I split it and I repotted it into 2 different pots. So now I have 2 instead of 1, which is super fun. It's another simple little project that I would do at home, and that would make me really happy. I can't wait to share more of my little projects around the home, my slow way of living, my simple little joys, my simple little pleasures, just to help remind you that you can find joy and happiness in life in other places too. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing, but it can help you kind of rethink your life and just be more playful with it. So thank you all so much for watching toward the end of this video. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will talk to you next time. Ciao!